to today's daily market recap. Today is 17th of September 2024 and it's Tuesday. Before we start our daily market analysis, we'll just talk about the concepts that we use to analyze the markets. We'll see the previous day high, previous day low, the candle formation, open high low close and open low high close, as well as we consider the power of 3. Times are extremely important. We look into the fair value gaps as well as SMT, and then we use standard deviation to mark our profit targets. So like I discussed yesterday, I am still bullish going into the week, and the reason is because we have already inversed the balanced price range to the upside now. What I would like to see is this week we have another bullish candle trying to reach this swing high, or at least close above this down close candle, which will validate this to be an order block. So let's go into the daily chart. If we go into the daily chart, we can see today's price action. So this is today's candle, that is Tuesday. It's already been printed, and we can see that the Wednesday's price has already started. So the candle is forming for Wednesday. Okay, so like we mentioned yesterday, we have this daily BISI, which is buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. And we can see that on Monday, that is yesterday, we already balanced the entire range. So going into today, I really wanted to see price go up and then close above Monday's high, which unfortunately did not happen. Instead, we went higher and we formed a high on Tuesday, but if you look at the low, we did not form a low on Tuesday. So if you try to relate it to a weekly profile, you can say that it might be a Tuesday high of the week, but we cannot say about low of the week, right? So now we have to wait for the upcoming days to see whether price wants to continue down and try to engage this second, which is close to the discounted BISI, and then expand higher, or does it just want to expand higher from here? So that is something that upcoming days will tell us. However, you can see that since price failed to close above Friday's high on Monday, right? Looking at the previous candle, we were bearish for the day, right? But I really wanted to see a push up today, which did not happen. Okay, so now let's go to the 4-hour chart, because again, when our bias is we are not confident on the bias, we should always wait for the 6 a.m. 4-hour candle to close just to see how price is reacting in the short term, because we are focusing on the intraday trading and not on the swing trading. At least I am not. So let's look into the 4-hour chart. Yesterday I mentioned that we were having this 4-hour CB, and I was interested to see how price was planning to react. Now you can see that we inverted this CB at 2 a.m. We had a bullish move to the upside, right? We validated this down close candle or a series of down close candles to be an order block right here, and then the goal was to take this high. We took that high, and now the idea was to go down and reach into this BISI. You see, you have this BISI. You can say that this is a BPR itself, right? Because we have one CB here and one BISI here. So how does price move? Price moves from external liquidity to internal liquidity. So since we already took this high, the next target for the price would be to reach into the internal liquidity, which are your imbalances or your BPRs. So the another thing was, if you look at the 6 a.m. candle, 6 a.m. candle failed to close above the 2 a.m. candle, right? So that indicates that we have a downside coming in. The good thing was 6 a.m. already took the high. So since we took the high, my idea was, okay, now we are going to look for bearish price move or bearish structure. Okay, let's go down to the 15-minute chart and let's walk through the times first. Before we go there, this is the previous day high or yesterday's high, that is Monday's high, and this is previous day low, which is Monday's low. Okay, all right. So this is the point where we had our 6 p.m. daily open. So now going into the day, I was bearish. The reason is, even though I want to eventually see price go up, but if you look at the daily chart here, you could see that Monday failed to close above Friday's high. So that is why my next idea was, okay, we are going to potentially target the low of Monday. So Monday's low would be my target. However, since we have already engaged this busy and we have completely balanced it out, this was making me a little bit dicey as to whether price will come down aggressively or it will go up and then just retrace and then continue going up. So those are the things which I wasn't sure about. So that is why I waited for the 4-hour candle to close, and in the 4-hour we saw that the 6 a.m. candle closed and formed a busy here, and which technically is a PPR because we have a CB right here as well. So now I wanted to see that this busy getting engaged, and then potentially there might be a price move higher or a price move lower. Okay, so going into the day, I wanted to see a bearish price action, but overall for the week I was bullish. So you could see, like, at 6 p.m. we moved higher, we came down, right? And right at this point we had our midnight open. So again, I'm focused on this time. So I looked at the 6 p.m. which is daily open, then moved into the midnight open, and then I was tracking where we have our 9:30 open. So you could see that right at 9:30 we had a dump down. Obviously at the market open we have a volatility kick in, we had a huge move to the downside, and then we started moving higher and we formed an SMT right at the top. Now here's the thing, because we did not make any significant lows after this particular low that was formed between 6 p.m. and your midnight, I used this range as the manipulation leg to see how higher the price can go. And you could see that if you mark it out, the first primary target always is the -2 and -2.5. And you could see on the 15-minute chart, we tapped into it, but we did not close higher, right? We spoke about this yesterday as well. When you're using SMTs, if there is an aggressive price move to the upside and you close above the -2.5, there is a strong likelihood that the price will continue towards -4. Obviously, there will be a little bit of retracement, but eventually the price will target -4. You saw here that price failed to close aggressively above -2.5, and this is the point where I was expecting reversal. Okay, so but if you look at this particular candle, this candle was at 10:45, right? So we tapped here, we came down, this is basically your 9:30, we went down, and now what do you see here? Your 10 a.m. If I want to see price move lower, I want that 4 a.m. candle to have a wick at the top, right? So I'm expecting price to manipulate higher and then start expanding lower, and that's what we saw here. Right at 10 a.m. we moved higher. Okay, so we moved higher and we closed here. Now what I would like to see is, I want to see a move downwards, validating this green candle as an order block, confirming that we are now moving downwards. right? But that did not happen. So you will see that the next candle, again, you can say that it's an indecisive candle because there is no strong body. And then we again continued higher, right? We tapped one more time. We formed an SMT with YM at the high, and then we have a strong push to the downside. Okay. At this point, we knew that the price wanted to go lower, but we weren't sure, right? Because we do not have a significant um, order block formation. We still have these candles, these are up close candles, but we want to see the down close candle close below this series of up close candles, validating this to be an order block. So after that, we saw price again moved higher, and after that we saw a lower candle which closed below this up close candle. So now instead of this, we have this green candle acting as an order block, right? So this is 15-minute candle itself, but you can mark like this 15-minute order block. Now you can go down to a 5-minute chart, and you can see right here is that, okay, well, price, you can see that there is a aggressive move to the downside. This is the SMT which was formed with YM. This displacement is nothing but your 2022 sell model, because you have your market structure shift, a large displacement which created a fair value gap. Then you have your test of that fair value gap. We came down. This is the point in time where we validated this as an 15-minute order block was validated right at this point. You could have just waited for that confirmation instead of jumping right here. We can wait the price to come down and then retest this particular order block. So when you retest this order block, it becomes a propulsion block, and now we are not expecting the mean threshold of the propulsion block to get hit, or the mean threshold is quite sensitive, so at least like the top won't be, it won't touch the top, right? Because if it does, then technically your analysis is wrong. So we could see that price touch here. This is the entry. You could have like stop loss right here, and then you can see the price continued lower, right? At this point, you can just think about like 6 p.m. because 6 p.m. daily open as well as your midnight open offers a good amount of resistance. So if the risk to reward is accurate, you could have taken like position right here itself instead of waiting for the entire move. But again, like if you have runners, you can keep it there as well. Again, this is not financial advice. This is just my observation, which I'm trying to document and share. Obviously, you do your own research, but this is one of the models that I follow, right? So you can say that we have our 2022 model, but we wait for the confirmation of the 15-minute order block as well, so that it gives us a nice idea as to when to enter and when to exit. Now, this becomes a challenge when you do not have news. When it's an accumulation day, you won't get a large move. Today we did not have a large move, but still, like if typically you do not get a large move on an accumulation day, and you might get chopped out. So always make sure that your risk to reward is tight and it makes sense before you enter any position. There are a lot of opportunities every day, but you do not have to take each of them. All right. So that was the analysis for today. I think it was a good day to analyze, definitely. Again, like I do not trade the afternoon session, so that is why I do not analyze that a lot more. But morning session is something that I focus on. And again, typically I try to find only one opportunity and just be done with it, not multiple. I know that many people do that as well, but I just try to find like one position, and that's it. So let me know if you have any questions. Going into tomorrow, I would really like to see how price reacts. Tomorrow 6 a.m. candle, the 4-hour 6 a.m. candle will tell us the actual story as to whether there is more downside to come, or is it like the downside is done and now we are going to expand higher. because we have already formed a high on Tuesday. So I'm just wondering whether the price wants to engage this discounted BC before continuing higher. Alright, so let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you tomorrow.